Sweet Home Alabama.
Turning, carry me home to see my kid, singing songs about the South. I miss Alabama once again. Southern man don't need him around anyhow. Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are so blue. Sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you. Your conscience bother you? Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are so blue. Sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you. Sweet home Alabama, the skies are so blue. Sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you.
Let's talk about the introduction. The introduction is 8 bars long. The first 2 measures are rests, so we don't have to do anything except count. Counting's important. I suggest that you subdivide eighth notes internally. So if the tune is 1, 2, 3, 4, you should subdivide eighth notes because the groove eventually starts with eighth notes on the bass drum. So I would think 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. After 2 measures of rest, the drums come in. Eighth notes on the bass drum and 2 and 4 on the snare drum. The bass drum sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Let's try it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, good. Now we have to add in the snare drum. The snare drum is playing flams. A flam is where one stick is higher than the other and you let them fall basically at the same time. For this particular groove, I play a right-handed flam, like so. So you can add a rim shot with the right hand as well. If we put the bass drum and the snare drum together, it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's try to play this together. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Good. You could try practicing flams on your own. The 5th bar of the introduction starts the groove. You can hit the crash cymbal on beat 1 of bar 5 and then directly go to the hi-hat playing eighth notes. You continue with the bass drum playing 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and the snare drums on 2 and 4 with your left hand. So let's try this. I'll start it and then we'll play it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's play it together. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Good. That's the end of the introduction. And now we're going to go on to verse 1. The first verse is 8 measures long and begins with a crash on beat 1, or the downbeat. You move directly with your right hand to the hi-hat playing eighth notes. The groove is essentially the same, except our left hand plays a cross stick. From the beginning of the tune, we hold our left hand stick opposite of what we normally hold it. A cross stick holds the beat of the stick against the drum while you lift up the stick and place it against the rim. Remember, you don't want to lift your whole hand off of the drum like this and play the rim. You want to hold the beat of the stick against the drum, rotate with your wrist so that the stick comes up, and then you place the stick back down so that the end of the stick or butt of the stick hits the rim, like so. You can experiment with moving the stick up and down on the rim, which will change the pitch or the timbre of the sound, like so. By moving the stick up and down, you're going to try and find where the stick sounds the best against the rim. My suggestion is playing the cross stick over one of the lugs of the drum. It just tends to sound much better and you get a much fatter sound. So instead of playing in between two lugs, try and move the stick so that the cross stick is played directly over a lug. I'm going to play the first 4 bars of the first verse. Remember to hit the crash cymbal on the downbeat. Then we'll play it together. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Let's play it together, a little bit slower. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, great job. The next part is the transition, which is 4 bars long. It happens between verse 1 and 2. The transitional part is exactly the same as the last 4 bars of the introduction. I'm going to play it for you one time, and then we'll play it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try to play it together a little bit slower. 1 and 2 and crash and go and. Great. Let's move on to verse number 2. The second verse is 8 measures long. You could begin this verse by hitting the crash cymbal and moving directly to the hi-hat playing eighth notes. The groove remains the same with the left hand playing the cross stick. Let's play the first 4 measures together. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. I'm going to play for you the fill on the 8th bar of the second verse, and then we'll play it together. After you play 4 16th notes, we hit the crash cymbal with the bass drum. I'll do it once. 1, 2, 3. Let's try to play it together. 1, 2, 3. Remember, you can always subdivide internally 16th notes. Let's do it one more time and think 16th notes. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a... Here are the last four measures of the second verse. Remember that the fill comes on beat 4 of the 8th measure. Let's play this together. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and... Great. Next, we're going to move on to the chorus. The chorus happens after the second verse. And remember, we play the pickup or the fill on beat 4 of the 8th measure of the second verse. That goes directly into the chorus. You can play the crash cymbal on the downbeat of the chorus and then move on to the hi-hat. With the chorus, I like to keep the hi-hat somewhat open, but not too open that you lose articulation. Here's how this sounds. 1, 2, hi-hat, go. So it's not too choked that it's really articulated, and it's not too loose that you lose all the sense of time. So let's play the first 4 measures of the chorus together. 1, 2, 3, 4. You heard that I played the crash cymbal on the 3rd measure of the chorus. You can pick either cymbal. If you have one cymbal, just play it on the left side. If you have 2 cymbals, you can alternate between the left side and the right side crash cymbal. Feel free to do whatever you want. It's open. After the 8th measure of the chorus, we move on again to the 4-bar transition. The 4-bar transition is the same as the last. The 3rd verse, the groove remains the same as we played in the 2nd and the 1st verse. The only difference comes in the fill at the end of the 8th bar. The 3rd verse is also 8 bars long, just like the 2nd and the 1st. If we focus on the 8th measure or the fill, it starts on the end of 3 in 16th notes and moves to beat 4. So it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. Let's try it one more time. Think 16th notes before you start playing. 1E and a 2E and a 3E. Let's play the fill at the end of the 8th measure and hit a crash cymbal on the downbeat of the chorus. Let's try it together. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Following the 3rd verse, we have the chorus again. The groove remains the same. Good luck. Following the chorus, we repeat this section one more time for 8 more measures with a solo over the top. You can hit the downbeat of this section with the crash cymbal. Instead of going to the hi-hat, we move to the ride cymbal. So let's just play the first 4 measures together. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and... The last 4 measures continue with the same groove we played for the entire tune. The only difference is in measure 8, we stop on beat 2. You can hit the crash cymbal with the bass drum and cymbal to end the piece. I'll play it for you once, and then we'll play it together. Here are the last 4 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'll notice in the last measure, I hit the bass drum 3 times. 1 and 2. Let's try that together. 1, 2, here we go. 1 and 2. Let's play the last 4 measures together. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. All right, have a blast playing Sweet Home Alabama.